It would be cool to have one of the more exciting supports picked up. Get some big AoE combos. Ancient Apparition's been banned out, so we don't have that available. But again, we are getting pretty low on the reserve time. And the third pick, ooh, it's a silencer. That's spicy.
Ten seconds remaining.
That brings us to our fourth pickup here for Beast Coast. Looking for most likely a carry and a mid right now. Go for a gyrocopter. Fairly safe pickup, especially with the bristleback in front of it. Will be tough to jump onto that gyrocopter, and as soon as he gets farmed, that's really not a hero you're going to want to deal with.
Dire team ban.
Enchantress.
And Enchantress to pick up here for Infamous. Enchantress we saw a little bit earlier today. It kind of wrecked, but the counter to it was definitely a a lot of magic damage, which Beast Coast do have a fair amount of right now. It seems like every single hero they have can potentially contribute to taking down that Enchantress, as long as their cooldowns are up. There's no silences yet. A little bit of disable. And some good saving as well. You get a blinding light out there. You get a Fate's Edict even. Can tend to be good counters against the Enchantress, but we'll have to see how this Silencer does. That's a hero that could really throw a wrench in the works for Beast Coast in tandem with the Enchantress.
10 seconds
Beast
remaining.
Coast ban away the Faceless Void. Infamous
5
on
seconds
their last
remaining.
ban. They're going to dip into their reserve time once more. This is one of the more important games for them. If anybody can take off of a game off of Beast Coast in the group, that really sets them up for doing well to get into the next round.
Turn to pick.
And remember that the qualification, the top two get into the Phase 2 playoffs, while number 3 go directly into Phase 3, which is the qualification for the minor. So it's really crucially important to do well in these closed qualifiers. Slark banned away by Infamous.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And that will bring us to the end of Infamous's draft. They pick up a Bloodseeker. Wow. That's a little bit unbelievable. But if you're going to do some damage to the Bristleback, I guess Rupture is a good way of getting that done. And maybe they've been studying up on Hector's Bloodseeker as well. Don't believe we've seen the Hector hero yet.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm sure he's
5 seconds remaining.
going to be very comfortable. Actually, it's probably Hector on Gyro. We don't see Chris Lux hero yet. But I'm sure he'll be fine with whatever he's playing. And in this case, it's going to be the TA. All right. Going for a lot of physical damage here. Just trying to cut through that Enchantress's health as fast as possible. And we have our lineup set here. Kunkka has a really big coat. It's kind of tough to see his face over there. Although it does seem like our sets are a little bit more tame here. We've seen some crazy sets today. But we will be getting into this is match set number 4. And we'll have one more after this to finish out our night. Surprisingly, it's only been, well, we had one set before I had to restart the stream. So it's been about 5 hours and then 7 hours when you add in the first 2. So we've been here for a bit. And here we are getting into the game. Beast Coast versus Infamous. Beast Coast trying to continue their winning ways and improve from their 2-0, and Infamous looking for their first wins in the closed qualifier. So here we go, getting into the match. Infamous going in through the top lane to start. A little bit of tipping going around. And we're just setting our lanes up to start. Looks like we're going to have the Enchantress starting up in the off lane. Kunkka over in mid, Puck up there as well. And then in bottom it will be a, for now at least, solo Bloodseeker. Schofield right now in bottom. Hector playing the Gyrocopter, he's towards bottom as well. Stinger on the Oracle. Chris Luck being very far up here in the mid lane. He's definitely been scouted out. He's sitting up here for now. And then in top we've got Whisper looking to solo against what could be a tri-lane. I feel like they're going to want to try to put some more heroes in bottom to help out the Bloodseeker.
Bright and breezy.
And here we go. 2 bounty runes will go to each side. So we'll be splitting those to start. And we're going to have the Silencer rotating down towards bottom to help out the Bloodseeker. Yep, and there's a TP.
The mystery deepens.
So Stinger comes in around the backside.
You might wish to retract your last move.
It's going to be a, looks like a tri-lane in bottom for the Dire side. In mid, we're already getting started onto the Bloodseeker. Meanwhile, Courier gets taken down in mid by Chris Luck. Damn. Already getting started here. Early levels could be a bit of a problem for Bristleback. He is taking a lot of damage, and he doesn't have his passive, so that is your first blood. Not really respecting it at all. He needs that passive in order to stay alive, and with the slow going in from Enchant, he did not really have a chance. So hopefully Hector can make up for this one. There's really no reason for him to get any kind of bad farm. So he gets up to 7-2 right now and is doing very well with his CSing. Papita trying to get a little bit of control down. And the blocks will come through from Schofield. They'll get chased down by a missile as well, but it's very unlikely that they want to chase this down too much. No mana available for an Illuminate. So just chase Papita for a little bit longer. He'll regen, try to get the pool off to the side. Which Schofield will block. No reason to let him get that off. the mid lane. Torrent gets thrown out in mid, which takes care of Chris Luck's refraction. Bristleback runs into that illusory orb. To go around through the trees now, getting a lot of bristles off. Turns around. Oi! Very close, but he's not going to be close enough to Sladin to actually get that kill. But he is starting to come into his own in this lane, which is going to be important. Gyrocopter, while he will excel in the early levels, which maybe not so much now that the Oracle is rotating off, but Oracle is just stacking inside the jungle for now. The Gyrocopter is going to have to need a little bit of help later as these other heroes get stronger. So the Oracle is rotating off so that the level disparity isn't so bad. Chris Luck chasing down Robo a little bit. Pretty dominant in this lane, even though the Kunkka does have more last hits. Both of the teams trying to control these lanes as much as possible. Flat cannon out. Doing some good damage. Schofield, ooh, Hector. Maybe gets silenced, but he's going to go aggressive with the Rocket Barrage, taking these heroes low. Papita decides to try to win, but he can't. And Hector, with the big brain plays, takes the damage, takes the silence, but he already got the Rocket Barrage off to get that kill. Great zoning move as well. Now he is very low, which means that Madara will be a little bit more difficult to deal with in this bottom lane. The Rocket Barrage is available, but these creeps are moving up, and Hector, he's going forward. Maybe an interesting place to be. He's being very patient. Gets some mana back from the Coddle, and there's your Rocket Barrage. Is it going to be enough? No, the creep is just soaking up way too much of it. Madara takes out the kill. Oh, you got to get away from the Illuminate. Papita, maybe a couple more hits. Where's the regen? Magic Stick is there. And Schofield recognizes that. Illuminate, still not going to kill off Madara, but he's forcing out those charges. Puck finds the Oracle inside the jungle. And the Puck will get away. This little John over to the side. Still lots of stacking going on in the jungle. When you have a Gyrocopter and the Templar Assassin, this is so important. 5 minutes time to get some runes. 3 of them will go over to the Beast Coast side. Chris Luck gets up to level 6. So he starts to get those traps out. Kunkka's up there as well, had a slight lead. He's at the top of the CS right now, 35 for 10 above the Templar Assassin. So he's doing quite well trading in this lane. Courier comes over and has a special delivery for the Templar Assassin. Hector getting aggressive once again. There's the Arcane Curse out from Papita. Another Illuminate comes through. Creepy old man in the trees with the flashlight. Doing a great job of keeping the heroes low at bottom. Sladin is checking in through the jungle. No wards available, so he's just going to go for, I guess, a scouting mission. So Oracle continues to stack. Another Illuminate being queued up at bottom. Madara takes it right in the face. And there is going to be a stun out onto the Bloodseeker. Papita forces the Coddle away. And there's going to be another Illuminate. Very careful of the silencer as well. Hector to the side, finds Papita, and Rocket Barrage not going to get used. He knew that he wasn't really all that close. We'll get a little bit onto the Bloodseeker. Seeker moving quickly now. That should be a kill onto Schofield. Uses the Blinding Light to get away, but that only secures his doom from the Arcane Curse. But there is a lot of damage done onto Madara. Meanwhile, there's Bristleback dead. Almost killed off the Enchantress there, but the last set of bristles was not enough. And so the bristleback falls. He hasn't really been too amazing in terms of last hits, but he has stayed competitive. And now it's time for everybody to farm inside the jungle. Templar Assassin with the Templar Assassin double damage, because that gets branded. Find it much easier to take those down. Dara inside the trees. Beat the blood right to keep these heroes away. Chasing down the silencer a little bit. He has been rooted there for a while. There's the rocket rush. No shrine is available here, and that's just an easy kill for Hector. Now moving into the trees. Rupture gets used onto the bristleback, but he seems to be perfectly fine with this one. Blinding Light pushes back the Bloodseeker, and well, now maybe the aggression goes on to Whisper. He's gonna be fine thanks to Fate's Edict, but unfortunately the Enchantress has showed up as well. Rocket Barrage going through. Hector most likely has to back up. We'll make it through the trees before the Puck can make it in. And a nice timing on the Blinding Light pushes everyone back. Puck trying to get in, doesn't have the Dream Coil available, and Stinger will be the one that is the bait to save Hector. Still a slight lead going over to Beast Coast after that. Did the Courier... Still dead. It's a huge amount of last hits for the Templar Assassin. Mostly from going into the jungle and farming up these stacks that both Coddle and Oracle, mostly the Oracle, have been making. It's a lot of stacking going on right now. Very efficient for Beast Coast. Take a look at the net worth early here. We've got Templar Assassin at the top, Enchantress right behind him, and looking for the Courier. It's on a bit of a scouting mission. Oracle gets down the bottom. He's only level 3 right now, looking for level 4. And is going to find it so difficult to be up against the Enchantress here. They've rotated. They've rotated the Bloodseeker off the lane. They've put him top.
Radiant are scanning.
And that might be something that gets taken advantage of. Coddle finds one. Hector is to run through the blood right and stop there. Coddle is the one that's found. Coddle is the one that gets the bounty room. Meanwhile, bottom, that's where the aggression is going. Frank is just hitting right onto the backside of Whisper.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He eventually does make it away. A little bit too tanky to take down there, but they did find a kill on the Stinger. For Assassin, very close to Odesso. And they should secure it. So 11 minutes for Power Treads Deso on Chris Luck. Excellent farm and a huge amount of teamwork for Beast Coast, making sure that those stacks are up and available to farm. It's been pivotal in getting that good timing. You'll definitely see the Templar Assassin getting involved in a lot of these fights. Moving it from the trees, pushes out that lane a little. Enchantress is just about 100 gold away from the Dragonlance. Hector just sitting there as he was ruptured. And yep, he'll run away. But will there be anything to come through? Puck going forward. Oh, that could have been a thing. But he decides that it's not really worth it with the shrine available. Enchantress is still a huge problem. Bristleback isn't really even in range to get these stacks onto the Enchantress, who does hurt quite a bit. Gets that clarity out and all of the mana used up for that go is going to be quickly regened. Chris Luck now farming once again inside the jungle. Already has his Deso, so look how fast he takes care of these stacks. He's up to level 14 now. 4 levels above the Kunkka. This is a huge imbalance in terms of level. And in terms of net worth as well. Hector's up there. He's got a little bit of a mixed bag here. I guess that's his Aghanim Scepter. Yeah. So he'll go phase boots directly into the Ags.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Bottom Whisper getting some much needed farm here, as well as the tier 1 tower, but we've got to go inside the jungle. Silencer ultimate is there. Hector doesn't really have much of a choice, just spins around for a little bit while the Silencer ulti is going. And
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Whisper chases down the enchanters. Don't really see this going all that well. We'll throw some impetuses, whatever, into his back.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I can English real good. That's the
Dire
moral
are
of that
scanning.
story. Hector making his way over to top. I think they have an idea that somebody's in here, but they guessed the wrong way, and Adara TP's out. Also putting a ward down on the high
Dire's
ground,
middle tower
which shows
is
them
under
even
attack.
more that they missed. Puck ready to go for the regen rune, and that's quite a bit of damage. About half of it taken away by one meld strike. This Templar Assassin continues to get further ahead. Going to guess that there's a Blink Dagger on the courier. Yep. As well as Gyrocopter's Aghanim Scepter completed. So a couple of items getting picked up.
Dire's
Ones are
bottom
getting
tower
drawn
is
by their
under
Bristleback,
attack.
saying that he's a little bit
Radiant
tired
are scanning.
of waiting for this game to happen, so he wants to bring the game to him. 3 heroes up on the high ground. He might be getting put into a really bad situation. Dream Coil is there. Lots of hate for the Bristleback. He continues to run around, and the sleep gets put down by the Coddle. Robo Z in trouble. He'll fall immediately. Sladin also to fall to Hector. That's a great turnaround from Beast Coast, knowing that their Bristleback is tanky enough to take that fight, and they're continuing to go forward even with the tier 1 still up in the top lane.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So that will be a tier 1 tower going the way of Beast Coast. Hector going down to farm in bottom before this tower is even gone.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Infamous, even though they are leading in kills, they are definitely not as efficient on the map. 5k gold back on the net worth. Maelstrom picked up for Bloodseeker. Seems to be going for a Halberd next, which we noted earlier is pretty good up against the Templar. He goes into Roshan, is starting to get beaten up a little bit, but some help from the Coddle helps her secure it, but the Taunt is there, and she's going to have to back away. Does not want to get caught up in the pit. Sladin is there. There's a Dream Coil. Has to be careful. There's not going to be a Refraction available, and she gets run over a boat and absolutely taken down. Singer not available, and his false promise wasn't even there either. Call down also not up. East Coast not working around their cooldowns at all here, and they're going to find it so difficult to deal with these heroes. Enchantress on the high ground, trying to get the Rocket Barrage onto her, but she will be healing up, and they really have to focus her down. Buyback from Chris Luck to get back in the fight. He absolutely knows his team cannot afford to give up the advantage this early in the game. Chris Lux still in the pit. We'll go for this one. Blink in. That's going to be a Radiant kill. Sladin doing everything there. He takes the Aegis, and he takes the victory from Templar Assassin. They should definitely be able to find this puck here. But how slippery, how awesome. Actually, how squirrely, I was going to say, can this puck be? Blink away from the Templar Assassin Deso hit, and he should be fine. He'll jaunt over to the high ground. And, yep, there goes your puck. Easy plays. Roshan and the Aegis go to Infamous. Sladin gets the steal. It wasn't, oh my god. All of these trees are dead. I feel like Coddle should be renamed to Timbersaw because I think he cuts down trees a lot better. Kunkka getting closer to his Radiance. Oh, we should definitely look at that fight recap. Just kidding. It was not important.
I want to die.
Best
You might
Oracle
wish to
voice
retract
line.
your last move.
You almost had that.
Chris Lux moving forward in the mid lane. Does quite a bit of damage. And is getting closer to a BKB. Chris Lux just been farming so quickly, but guess who's caught up to him? That's right, it's Hector with the gyrocopter, getting closer to his BKB as well. The Whisper doesn't really have to worry about all this damage with his tankiness. But he does want to be a little bit smart.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
The thing is, I don't really think that Beast Coast have to force a whole lot right now. They should inherently scale better than the Infamous side, and they have a lot more like a better draft at their disposal. So their timing really doesn't even have to be now. Maybe the Templar Assassin will start to fall off a little bit, but she's still got so much damage potential, especially when she starts building into crit. So it definitely seems like Infamous should be the ones trying to push the envelope here. But when you have that advantage, you may as well take as much out of it as you can. That's what Beast Coast have done a fairly good job of. They are still a little bit behind on kills. Papita moving up. We'll get the last word onto the Bristleback, which gets purged off. Meanwhile, Hector gets a kill onto the puck at bottom. Wasn't really expecting that. Almost have an Aghanim Scepter for Coddle. Whisper may want to be careful. Fighting into quite a bit. There's the X marks into Torrent. When it comes through. Right now it's a 3v4 mid while two heroes on the dire side split push in. Most of Beast Coast are grouping up around mid. Templar Assassin very nearly at her BKB, which these camps should secure for her. So another big item up for the TA, and right now it's just Hector and Chris Luck battling to see who gets the most net worth in this game. Very clearly ahead of the Bloodseeker, who now has his halberd and is working towards a BKB. Hector now has his javelin. Guess going for a side build of a Maelstrom. Just trying to regain control of the lanes here, pushing out bottom, getting some control of the enemy jungle. Some very deep wards here. One there, one there. Push will just go in towards bottom. It feels like this gyrocopter is far ahead right now to really be contested, but Chris Luck in mid, this could be something to be careful of. Chris Luck hitting the tower through the trees. The refraction gone. He's going to want to be careful. But they'll just go right for the Enchantress. This will have to be a quick kill if they want to go for it, and they're not going to be able to find it. To go through, Whisper tanking up a lot of the damage here. Schofield has thrown Frank to the lower ground, and that should be enough damage to take down the Enchantress. A Quill Spray, he's been silenced, doesn't matter. Enchantress falls, mid tower down, bottom tower almost crumbling here.
Bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And you're starting to see where Beast Coast are so far ahead. There's just nothing that Infamous want to do against this team right now. It's 11-9, but the 6K gold lead belongs to Beast Coast. Another tier 2, well, the first tier 2 tower taken. Should be one taken bottom very soon. Torrent hits Chris Luck, but he is not worried at all. Doesn't even have an Aegis, but he is level 19. And again, I can't stress enough that these levels are so far in favor of the Dire side. Chris Luck finds Madara trying to farm inside the jungle and says, alright, well, I can do that too. Two heroes possibly getting sandwiched. Puck finds Sakadal, who's running away from his own team. Dragon Coil gets used, and there's the Ignis Batis catching out two. Coddle decides to trade one stun for another. Gets a Fate's Edict on him as well, so he'll be fine actually. They need to find this Enchantress though, who is laying in to the Oracle. Coddle brought back with the next and taken down. They have not found the kill onto Enchantress. Now Chris Luck on the side going right after the puck, who will jaunt away and stay alive. But this is very casual. It doesn't even seem like they care. They lose the Coddle and go back to farming and pushing in the lanes. Bounty runes. 3 of them picked up by Infamous. Doesn't really have to matter all that much. Top lane, Papita. Should be very dead. And there you go. Last word put out onto the gyrocopter. He's got a BKB, so this is very ambitious, if anything. And he can just stand and fight. He has no reason to keep going. Meanwhile, Whisper on the backside is having difficulty here, but the Blinding Light should be able to keep him alive for a little bit longer, as well as the Mana Leak on the Robo-Z. Whisper will be brought back with the X marks the spot, but he runs in further to avoid the Torrent. He's not afraid of fighting at all. And they still want him. He's been gooed up. He's taken a lot of damage thanks to the Psionic Traps, and they will find the Kunku, who does have buyback. The Beast Coast will make the smart decision and go back for the tier 2s, while Hector farms out these creeps. Huge amount of gold on the Gyro. Maelstrom, BKB, Aghanim Scepter for him. Going for his Satanic is actually really close to it as well. Seems like Hector just has a new item every 5 minutes or so. Puck going forward. Looking for the Courier. He does have the Dream Coil available. Decides not to use it onto the Oracle for now. And will not go any further onto that. Coddle now has the Aghanim Scepter, so you'll see lots of flying horses all over the place. brought back with his own X. And Roshan is back up. This time with some cheese. Go right in. This luck. Going for a Scythe of Vice. His physical damage is way too much at this point, so you may as well get a little bit more control. Make it easier to kill off the Enchantress. Up on the high ground, ready to go for him. Oh my gosh, look at that health. Templar Assassin being so aggressive. Meanwhile, inside the river, Bristleback is going very ham. Oracle about to be taken down. Very important to get this Oracle before the silence is over. But the False Promise comes through and is going to allow him to TP back. You can't even kill him. The Courier is going to stay alive as well. Hector is unstoppable and the backline's taking down Papita. Chris Luck has found the Bloodseeker kill. Bloodseeker has no buyback. Frank will be able to get away with the TP and a Ghost Scepter. But that just means that this is easy roach time for Beast Coast as they do not lose any at the 28-minute mark. 12k gold lead, finally taking the lead in kills. A very controlled game for them. And this time the Dire do get the Roshan. Sladin cannot get the Aegis or the kill this time around.
Interesting. Greetings!
Scythe of Ice picked up for Templar Assassin, and I would imagine that this really becomes the end of the game. Beast Coast very easily taking this one. Controlled play, good focus on farming, and all of those stacks in the early game really set themselves up to take this very simple game. Fracture being taken down, Frank doing as much as he can. Rupture gets used onto Hector, seeing if they can do something here, but he's got a Satanic. He really doesn't care. He's got a BKB as well. He's healing up through this Rupture. They move over towards bottom. Tier 3 tower gets taken down. Going after Robo Z. Now going after Puck, going after anybody that's within reach. Being moved back, there's another Torrent. But at this point in the game, East Coast are shrugging off any damage they take and wreaking havoc in the Radiant base. Going for the full set of racks here. Tier 3 tower, next to fall. Courier is seemingly always on lower health. But this is a very brave Courier. Oracle getting gone on silenced up, but again, will be fine, and they will turn the tables on to Sladin, who's trying to get away. Use Scepter to get away, possibly Phase Shift as soon as he gets down. Stinger staying alive. There's going to be the call down. Immediately cleaned up is the Puck. Templar Assassin goes down inside the base, but he has buyback. Isn't going to use it yet. Madari getting into the fight. Keep the light trying to get out, and he doesn't really have the best tools for this, so it is going to be difficult. But the Bloodseeker needs to be able to help out his team. He's not being allowed to do so, trying to go after the supports. Rocket Barrage to come through. There's a silence. Chris Luck is taking a bit of a break as his team wins the game. Triple kill for Hector, making an ultra kill. Is it going to be a a rampage? Sorry, it took me a second. We'll just run inside the base looking for him. Hey, he's gonna find a rampage if you like it or not. Hector goes for the support inside the base, gets the GG. 13-20 in game 1. A brutal victory for Beast Coast there. Just very methodical from the onset. Get your heroes, get your stacks, get your farm, and win the game. Very simple and very well executed for Beast Coast. So that'll take us to game number 2 with Beast Coast having a 1-0 lead. And we'll take a short break until then. You're still watching the MDL Chengdu Major South America Closed Qualifiers. And we'll be back after a break.